In Ohio, there's a police chief who thought it was a good idea and just hilarious to put KKK, Ku Klux Klan, on the back of some type of uniform on a desk inside of the precinct. Now, this is a white police chief, and he did this to a black cop. So I want you to see this footage. There's no sound to it because it's literally the footage inside of the precinct. So here's what you see. You see that yellow thing there? I want you to pay attention to that because something's about to happen. Here's the chief. What he's putting on that yellow garment is a Ku Klux Klan, Ku Klux Klan sign, a KKK sign. That's what he's doing. Now, he's put it on there. I think he may have taped it on. And here's the officer's desk. And he kind of chuckles about it. And he looks at it. Chief comes out. He makes some kind of joke. Hey, you know, what, you going to fire me now? Whatever he said, whatever goofy thing he said. But this was funny to the police chief. This was...
I'd like to start off by saying, Kal Halayim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Raha Kwadash. Double honors are given unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, men who have labored and suffered in this truth for over 30 plus years, making their lives and their bodies a living sacrifice to bring forth this 100% truth given on to them by Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Raha Kwadash. I also like to say shalom to the 1/3, the hopefully elected nation of Israel, all the various camps of GMS, Akim, who are out on the highways and hedges, who have studied diligently under the apostles and the elders. I also like to say shalom to any Akim that are out on the highways and hedges, according to Luke, as commanded to bring forth this 100% truth, one step, one spirit, one body in Yahweh Shai. To you all, I say shalom. Of course, the chief finds this funny. Of course, he finds this funny because given the track record of the race of Esau, Edom, so-called white man, anything to deal with Jake, so-called blacks, natives, Latinos, there's nothing that he takes seriously. And I'll just be quoting, just paraphrasing, Justice Taney of the Supreme Court, 1858. And he stated, the Dred Scott case, a black man has no rights in which a white man is bound to respect. And that goes in, you know, in any profession that you deal with this man and his society and his kingdom, which the Lord has set him up. You understand? He's not going to respect none of you, nothing, you know, whether you law enforcement, medicine, field research, geology, construction, sports and entertainment, financial. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just to name a few, you know, it doesn't matter. And overall, this is how they all feel, you know. And when I say them, I mean the knuckle dragging cave maggots, you know, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, you know. This is how they all feel, you know. But I want to pull a quick script here, and I'm going to be letting this video play and maybe pull a few more precepts. I'm going to make this long. This is Psalm 73 and verse 8, and it reads, they are corrupt, yes they are, and speak wickedly concerning oppression. Get over it, you know. Forget about it, you know. Forget about it. That was years ago, you know. I had nothing to do with that. My forefathers did that to you. You understand? They speak wickedly when you bring up these facts. You understand? And speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They don't really want to hear it. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it real. Let's keep it honest. But I want you to notice in the left-hand corner, it says indisputable. Just a side note.
In Sheffield Lake, Ohio, Police Chief Anthony Campbell has now resigned after this KKK incident on a black officer's desk. This happened last Friday. This was captured by surveillance video inside of the department's booking area. The black officer started working for the department 9 months ago. Campo told the mayor that the note was just a prank, not a big deal. He thought it was a joke. How can you pop?
He thought this was just a joke. I'm reading from the screen. How can you possibly think that you can put something on somebody's jacket like that, and especially if they're African American? We're not African American, we're Hebrew Israelites, and think this is a joke. This is the most egregious and offensive thing you could possibly do, and it's embarrassing and disgusting. Sheffield Lake Mayor Dennis Breen. Hey, and when you seen that chief, he walked out and he had his hands in his pockets. I guess there was a detective with him that come out of that same room now, and you seen both of the white guys. They brushed it off like it wasn't nothing. Hey, what you gonna do about it? You gonna fire me? And hey, that's how that's how Esau feels, man. They just call it what it is. And it's gonna come a time the Most High gonna put in the spirit of you coons, to my Salakia, you less spiritual, you non-spiritual jakes, you carnal jakes. Let me clean it up. It's gonna have to put the spirit on you. You understand? To do what's gonna be necessary. Because see, I've stated in videos from past that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is in 100% order according to his spirit that the Most High give him. It's you jakes, so-called blacks, Latino, and Native Americans that are not in order. But we know that that's all a part of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai plan. Let's keep rolling.
Possibly think that you could put something on somebody's jacket like that, and especially if they were African American, and think it is a joke. This is the most egregious and offensive thing you could possibly do, and it's embarrassing and disgusting. There was a complaint that followed afterward. Sheffield Lake Law Director David Graves brought the incident to Breen's attention, who's the sheriff, Tuesday, and characterized it to the mayor as really serious. The union that represents the police brought a harassment complaint to Graves' office. Breen went straight to Campo's office after learning about the incident. This is how Campo reacted to the news. I came into the chief's office, and he's standing there with a smile on his face. Breen said, he goes, "So, am I fired?" Campo then announced he wanted to resign effective immediately, used his computer to type his resignation letter, and left. He's going to be able, it looks like he may be able to preserve his retirement benefits. This is just insane. But let me remind you of something. And here's the bigger issue. The bigger issue is that person is in charge of other police, completely disconnected, completely insensitive to the reality of racism inside of policing, to where he's willing to put a KKK sign on a black officer's desk. But there was something else that I'm reminded of when it comes to insensitivity. There was a white cop that pulled over a white woman, and when the white woman said, "Listen, I don't want to move my hands because, I want to make sure everything's okay," he tells the white woman, "Oh, don't you know, we only kill black people." Here it is.
The video shows a Cobb County, Georgia police officer talking to a woman in a car he pulled over on a traffic stop. She's unwilling to move her hands, afraid, she says, of getting shot, and he tells her, "Don't worry."
But you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people. Yeah, we only kill black people, right? All the videos you've seen, have you seen white people get killed?
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's just like the logo in the left-hand corner there, undisputable. I mean, this is not. This is the evidence. This is evidence. I want to pull out a quick script. What is it? This is Lamentations chapter 2, in verse 15, and it says, all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this the city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? And we've been made a spectacle, upon the whole of all the nations. Been made a spectacle, for that disobedience. Let me pull that real quick. This sometimes get redundant. You're going back to the basics, but hey, it is what it is. And this is the reason why we are in the predicament we're in. It reads, it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord Yahweh thy power will set thee high above all nations of the earth. And evidently, we did not hearken, we did not listen diligently, because we are the lowest of all the nations at this particular time. At this particular time. I'm going to jump down to verse 15. And it reads, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now we're going to go. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's go to 16 real quick. I want that to lead. Let's go to 16 real quick. Let's see. No, let's go. I think it's 40. And this is one of the curses right here. It says that the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And to be a police officer or a doctor or a nurse or a supervisor or a superintendent or any leadership position in this man's society, you would think that would warrant some type of respect. But no. Not when you're dealing with the so-called white man. There's no type of respect. There's no respect guaranteed to you. You understand? And this is all because of the misbehaving or the disobedient behavior of us as a whole. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed. Till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thee seed forever, because thou servest not the Lord Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and gladness of heart for all the abundance of things. Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee. Let me read that again. Thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee, and hunger and thirst and nakedness and want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. And the fact that Jakes have leader positions, chiefs and sergeants, doctors and lawyers and things of this nature here, superintendents on construction jobs, some project managers, things of that nature there. You've been entrusted with that because for the most part, Jake, your mind has been destroyed. You understand? You're not going to get no get back. You're not going to retaliate, I think one of the brothers had brung up a scenario, back in the days in chattel slavery and hardcore slavery, you're out in the fields and whatnot, you, the babies, the mamas, the grandmamas, the elderly, everybody's out there picking cotton and doing hard manual labor. You might have 100 slaves, 150 slaves, and including the slave master, the overseer and his family, there might be 6, 7, Edomites on the whole plantation, you know. Why wouldn't Jake take his revenge? Because just as the scriptures said right here, Salakia. And it says, therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. Because your mind's gone. You know? You've been chained up in one spot for so long that you return right back to that chain spot just like a dog. You know? Your minds are destroyed, Jake. That shucking and jiving that you seen that Jake officer did, you know, and this is not no slight against officers overall, as far as Jake's officers, you know, somebody, because there are 0.11% of them that are in order, that are getting themselves in order. You understand? That don't say much for law enforcement, but the Jakes that do deal with that have come to the realization who they are. This is no slight to you. You understand? But to be shucking and jiving and carrying on like you seen that Jake there, that's what's expected of you. Let me let this video keep playing.
See, the problem is, because they think it's a joke, it's never taken seriously, and there is no remedy in the culture of law enforcement. That is the problem. They laugh at it rather than analyze it to be better. Jackson, what are your thoughts?
Well, actually, my favorite part of the whole video was how the brother came in and laughed at it. Because even though the overall situation isn't funny, it shows how inadequate these people really are in real life, such that all of their actions derive from that general sense of insecurity and inadequacy. You know, this guy who's supposed to be a member of the superior race, as he waddles in and you know, and puts this sign on this jacket like a 12 or a 13-year-old. You know, like he's not a full-grown adult, like he doesn't understand right and wrong, like he doesn't understand professionalism or the implications of his actions.
Now, this Jake just made a point there. He says he's acting like a 12-year-old, you understand? And that's how these people act overall, you know? They act like they don't have, how could you put it, they don't have an adult mindset overall. And they don't. And they don't. I mean, for the most part, the Most High put the spirit in Jake to rule. He put the spirit of creation, imagination, you know, I'm talking about righteousness in Jake. These other people are not built, are not spiritually made up like us. Not in the least little bit. But you heard, I just want to pull the script down, just to bag up what the brother just said right there. This is Job, chapter 30 and verse 1, and it says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision. And Esau came out first when Rebekah gave birth to Jacob and Esau. So that's symbolic, you know. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereunto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former times desolate and waste. These are the people who are ruling over you, just like you seen him. He's sitting up there, a big old pale ass seahorse, you know, wallowing his fat ass out there, you know, to my writing that on Jake jacket. But Jake's response was inexcusable as well. But we're gonna get to that in just a second.
And, you know, and as you were saying, you know, such that a guy pulls over a woman, he says, we only kill black people. You know, are you joking? Are you not joking? The data reveals that more or less, you know, more so than not. So I just, you know, stories like this to me just reveal how
their track record shows forth all the evidence, the facts of how they really act and conduct themselves when dealing with people in society. These are barbaric, knuckle-dragging cave maggots, you understand? Who are not civil with anyone, meaning peaceable. They are not peaceable with anyone. Like I said, this man is not peaceable or civil. He can't get along with anyone. We're going to pull up the script real quick just to back that point. This is speaking of Esau, Edom. This is Revelations chapter 6 and verse 4, and it reads, "And there went out another horse that was red," reminiscences of Esau, Edom, Genesis 25 and 27, I believe. "And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword." Hey, you see it every day. Every time they got a news clip, news flashes come across your phone and whatnot, showing you the disdain this man has for not just Jake, but Jake in particular. We're not really concerned with the other people, the other nation, but the children of Israel. Our main concern, our main concern. And this man could not be peaceable. It wasn't in his spirit to do so. Just like we read in Revelations 6 and 4, And he was given power on high by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, to take peace from the earth and to kill, and they should kill one another. And he was given unto him a great sword. He has all the weaponry. And will want to go to war with you to stop you from coming up with the same capabilities that he has.
These people shouldn't be taken seriously. The issue should be taken seriously, but we need to be stronger than them. And I think we can be.
Yeah, and I got some words for the black officer, and I've thought about this because I don't want to make him a villain in this story because he's really a victim in this story. But when he came back and he chuckled at it, let me be very real about what that is. He didn't like it. He didn't enjoy it.
Of course he didn't. Of course he didn't. But being in this society, a lot of our people have assimilated and conformed, I want to read this little excerpt from Babylon to Timbuktu, This is page 123, and it says, "The final dispersion of the black Jew of Africa." We understand, those in the know, But this is a book of reference, and it reads, "Like the black Jew in America, some of the Jews of Ghana don't remember their original nationality. This deplorable ignorance is attributed to various causes." I'm going to jump straight to number 3, and it reads, "Intense persecution and the deliberate blotting out of the mind their true nationality." Deliberately blotting out and intense persecution. I'll go to the next one over here, next page over, and it reads, "If any of you, let's see, the psychologists and the sociologists and the psychologists know, and history has proven that if any of you deny your culture and nationality over a long period of time, you will totally forget it through the process of assimilation." And that's basically what you have seen, Jake, and these different professions, from politics all the way down to city workers, just assimilating, getting a nice job, try to ease the pain of being here in Babylon the Great. And through that period of time, Jake has forgotten who she is, who he or she is. And we know that was done unto us by the Most High, Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And we're going to grab that real quick just to back that up, and then we're going to close up. This is Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4, and it reads, "And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee, And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So, you know, ultimately it's the Most High that's put us in the predicament that we're in for our disobedience. You know, like the scripture said, you know, and I'm paraphrasing, you know, the Lord will visit the iniquities of the sins of the father unto the third and fourth generation of him. And that just means you come back. You were that father. You're not going to stand for crimes for your father. What your father did, he will stand for those crimes that he has done, just as you shall do. In retrospect, that means that you are coming back to stand in your lot, to stand judgment, to live out your judgment. So we may have forgotten who we are as a whole, but the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, has waken up that remnant, that 1/3, that hopefully elect, and bringing them back to this truth. With that, I'd like to say, Call Halayim La, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rahakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders. Hopefully this was somewhat edified. Shalom.